is sustainable and what is enhancing. I always say peace is development and development is peace. All of us together as a people of this republic do everything in our own limits, in our own capacities to promote peace and to seek peace and to work for peace. And so I ask really, what precious gift that can be given to the Republic of South Sudan, to this suffering nation, to this starving nation. What precious gift can we give? We give the gift of Jesus Christ, who is the Prince of Peace, and that is the peace we seek. May all of us work for that peace, and may God bless you all, and may peace prevail in the Republic of South Sudan.
iRadio, put your eye on South Sudan. iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. iRadio.
The Dawn on iRadio.
Yes, a very good morning to you and welcome to the second half of the Dawn program here on iRadio, live broadcast from the capital, Juba. I'm your host, Emmanuel Joseph Akile, and it's Wednesday, the 14th of May, 2025, coming to 16 minutes now after the hour of 7. Let's continue to pick few calls before we move to the next item and talk about agriculture. And we're still talking about the issue of constitutional making process. And the question we ask, do you agree that the constitution should first be drafted and adopted before the conduct of general elections with the appointed MPs, or the country should first go for general elections and then elected MPs can actually draft the constitution? 0911-022-986-986. iRadio.
أنا الجزء مكيلة.
نعم.
أستاذ مجوي.
مجوي تفضل.
تعرف إيمانويل طبعا إذا كان الجنوبيين كان بيتابعوا الاتفاقية أجر ما كان واضح كويس، لأن الدستور ده ما يبقى حدد شكل الدولة، شكلها بيكون كيف، شكل النظام، يعني حتى شكل التمثيل ذاته، الدوائر الجغرافية، حاجات ده كله يعني ده بيكون موجود في الدستور كويس. والدستور ده صورة الشعب، يعني عشان الدستور شكله يكون كيف يجمع رابط المواطنين بعدين يعني الكلام، لكن ده بيكون في جو فوق، يعني الدستور فوق الامن، الدستور فوق الحريه، يعني اي مواطن يعبر رايه كويس، وده يعكس التنوع الموجود في جنوب السودان يكون في الدستور. لكن هذا اللي قاعد يحصل الان ده فبركه ساكن كويس، لان اصلا يعني زي الناس دي لازم ناس معينين، البرلمان ده برلمان معين ما منتخب كويس، وعشان كده ذاته حتى هم ذاته اذا بيفهموا ذاته هذا الدستور ذات المواطنين جنوب السودان ما بيخش فوق، لانه ممكن هم بياخذوا الدستور على حسب هواهم او على حسب القياده الموجوده بس عشان يستمروا السلطات يكون في يد الواحد كده. فانا شايف انه الناس خلينا نرجع لاتفاقيه بيقول شنو؟ اتفاقيه ما تقدر بقى زي قاش المقدقد يمشي ورا قدام اننا صار ملخومين، يعني حتى الفتره ده هسه هنا فوق ده بسميها الفتره، لان اذا كان شبكه الاتفاقيه ذاته يعني كلهم مشتتين، باقين في سجن، باقين وين وفي كوليشن جديد، يعني غير ملخبط يا ايمان الجزائري. لان ما بنفهم حتى التمثيل المرأة اللي بتكلم فوق ده، انا اسف في جو عشان نتكلم في تمثيل المرأة. اول حاجه خلي نرجع انه اذا ناس جاهدين عشان يكون في دستور منظم، خلي نرجع للاتفاقيه، خليه في ناس في السجن ده، تعال يا اخوان تعال نقعد من جديد مثلا، خليه يفتحوا صفحه جديد، يشوف البلد ده ثاني يرجعوه كيف للشارع. احنا ما طلعنا من الشارع كويس، عشان كده هذا ده ما دار استعجال. عشان كده شفت الحاجات الجنوبيين مرات في نهايه بندفع الثمن، بدفع الثمن ده المواطن بس، لا اصلا السياسيين بس لمصلحتهم بس. حتى مستفيدين من دولة جنوب السودان يكون معكر غيري يستفيدوا ويجمعوا قروش وياكل قروش الشعب ويجوا الشعب، يجوا المحاضرين، جوا الجامعات، جوا المستشفيات، شوارع ما في، هم مستفيدين كده كويس، يخزنوا قروش في هم الناس انه قروش ممكن ياكلوا الدود ولا ياكلوا نايره عربه. عشان كده انه الدستور ده ما هو زي السوق، يعني ما ده فلسفه ولا كلام كده، لان في نهايه برجع. فانا شايف انه يعني بالحكمه خليه تريد شويه، خليه ياخذ نفس يرجع للاتفاقيه كويس، عشان الدستور بيكون دستور بيمثل كل الناس. otherwise عملوا بفبرك زي الدستور ما بيكون ناجح. شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا. واتفاقية السلام يقول الدستور يعملوه أولا. اي راديو.
Emmanuel, Joseph Akile, good morning.
Yes, Joseph, welcome.
Thank you, brother. First of all, I recognize the call of the other caller. What is so-called permanent constitution? Constitution, it is a document in the Bible protecting the particular country. Because if you form the country and you don't have constitution, you may know that you don't have country. The meaning of the permanent constitution, it is the constitution that permanent laws of the people of that particular country. Right now, people are trying to talk about the permanent constitution. The interim constitution is protecting South Sudanese. The revitalized peace agreement is protecting South Sudanese. We confuse as a citizen of this nation because we just jump up, talk about constitution, but we are tampered with the politicians' behavior. Those are politicians who say now we are not going for the election when we are not making a permanent constitution. If they're making permanent constitution, they are not able to make it. Well, these are long up to more than 6 years now. And they put to the agreement that we are going to make a permanent constitution. Go to the context that permanent constitution being made by the elected members of the parliament. Look now, when there is recess, members of the parliament, they are supposed to go to their constituencies, consult their citizens from the grassroots level. Now there's no constituencies. Some are run to Sudan, some run to Ethiopia, some run to East African part of Kenya and Uganda. And people are still trying to say that we are going to make a constitution. This making constitution, it is a political move, not a permanent constitution that is reflects the will of the people. What we want, if we are in the truth, let us elect the members of the parliament, and later on they will come and consult the people. Constitution is for the people, it's not for the few, not for the politicians, that they are governing people in their own means. Look now, this constitution of revitalized agreement is protecting the right of the people. Why? No, even the governors are not appointing their government. And people are trying to say that people are protected by the revitalized peace agreement. What we want is the leadership that being elected by the citizens, concerned citizens. We want that constitution of South Sudan cannot be neglected. Like now, people are trying to put a different agenda because you could not go to the Western world and bring in the new thing to the new country that is a country based by their diversity. So the constitution must be the constitution of the Republic of South Sudan by people, made by the people of South Sudan with their diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of this segment. And remember again, the Constitution Making Process Act 2022 stipulates that after the enactment of the Act, the Commission shall establish a Constitution Drafting Committee known as CDC. Now, this will also be followed by the appointment of a committee which shall convene the conference to mark the beginning of the constitution making process. And then the chairperson of the committee, Dr. Riang Nyar Duor, said it may take the commission 18 months to complete the permanent constitution making process on the condition that resources are made available to them on time. We'll leave it there for now. We go for this short break, and from there we'll be talking about agriculture.
Ministry of Health is conducting a commemoration of African Vaccination Week with rotavirus vaccine targeting all children aged between 6 to 10 weeks. Take your child to the nearest health center during the African Vaccination Week or the Big Catch Up campaign.
Good morning, Mama Nyandeng.
Good morning, Mama Mercy. Where are you coming from this morning?
I had taken Mercy for rota vaccine at the health center to protect my child against rotavirus diarrhea in infants and children. She was also vaccinated with other routine immunization vaccines at no cost. Is baby Mercy already vaccinated?
Yes, she was vaccinated last month. Does she need to be vaccinated again?
Yes. She needs to be vaccinated with at least 2 doses of rota vaccine at 6 and 10 weeks to be fully vaccinated, immunized, and protected against rotavirus.
Really? I just heard from afar that there will be a vaccination campaign during the African Vaccination Week, but I was not keen enough to get the details.
You know, rotavirus vaccines are effective in preventing diarrhea and deaths in infants and young children. This vaccine has just been introduced this year, 2025. A lot of children were not vaccinated. Some even travel without being vaccinated. I wouldn't want to see any child get diarrhea.
I didn't know that rotavirus is that serious, that it can even cause death.
Yes. Rotavirus is a life-threatening disease caused by the virus. The signs are fever and vomiting, followed by watery diarrhea, and can cause abdominal pain and dehydration. Children who survive may be dehydrated, which can cause serious complications.
Dehydrated or serious complication? Oh, that sounds scary. How can I protect my child from this dangerous disease?
The only way for your child to be safe is when your child and all children in your neighborhood are vaccinated with rota vaccine.
I will do that immediately. Where can I take my child for these vaccines? Hope it's not late.
No, you are not late. Rota vaccine and all the other routine vaccines are available at all health facilities and designated health centers located in your areas. Tell all your neighbors with children between 6 to 10 weeks to be vaccinated.
I'm glad you told me. I will take my child immediately to the nearest health center for rota vaccination.
Bring your child to the nearest vaccination site and protect them from rotavirus and vaccine-preventable diseases. This message is brought to you by the National Ministry of Health with support from WHO and UNICEF. وزارة الصحة قاموا ذكرى تتتيم أسبوع الأفريقي بتتيم حزب الجديد لإيال كله من عمر 6 ل 18 شهور. شيلوا جنتك في أقرب مركز تتتيم في فترة حملة الكبير ده.
صباح الخير أمة ميري.
صباح النور أمة غلوريا. ويترجى من وين صبا زيدي؟
أنا شيلو غلوريا عشان بوريلو تطعيم حزبة في مركز الصحي، وكمان وديلو تطعيمات تانين الروتين لمناعة، ودي كله مجان. سيتا شيلو ميري كلاس لتطعيم؟
أي أنا شيلو في تطعيم شهر الفات، ولا كمان دير كده نرجعو تاني.
أي أو محتاج عشان بتعمو تاني، على الأقل كدو شيلو 2 جرعة تطعيم حزبة، وباقي تطعيمات تانين الروتين من 9 ل 18 شهر عشان حزبة ما بيجالو.
سي أنا اسمع من بيت قالي في حملة تطعيم بيجا عملوا في فترة أسبوع الأفريقي للتطعيم، لكن أنا ما كنت بالتالي لتفاصيل تكلام دي.
إنت عارف تطعيم حزبة دي وكمان فعال وبيشتغل قوام وبيحامي جنا من حزبة وموتوا لإيال البردة وإيال السكرين. إيال كتير ما ودلو من جرعة نمرة 2 وفي تانين ذاته سافر بدون ما بيشيلوا تطعيم دي. أنا ما دير أينو إيا جنا بيقو بدو بحزبة.
يا سلام، أنا ما أعرف قالي حزبة دي مرض الخطر زي دي بيسببوا ضعفات وكمان بيجيبوا موتوا لجنة تاعي.
أي مرض حزبة دي وبيهددوا حياة وسبب تو يا فيروس حزبة. علاماته حمى وقحة، أنافة بجري موية، ويون بتالا أمر وبجري موية، ويالا بيكون كويسين من عيان دي مناعتهم بيكون ضعيف ومم بيكون عنده مشاكل في مخ، لكن ده نادر ما بيحصل كتير لكنه خطر كمان.
جهاز المناعة بيكون ضعيف وكمان بيسبب مشكلة في المخ. مالو كلام ده خوف أنا زي دي. أنا سي بقدر حمي جنتي كيف من مرض الخطر دي؟
طريقة الوحيد عشان جنتك بيكون في أمان ده كان جنتك ويال تحلة شيلوا تطعيم حزبة.
أنا أقول أعمل الكلام ده حاسة دي. أنا بلقوا محل التطعيم ده وين؟ وأنا بتمنى إن شاء الله أنا ماكر.
لا إنت ماخر. تطعيم حسبة دي وتطعيمات تانيين الروتين دي كله متوفر في مركز الصحي ومحلات الخصصوا لمركز الصحة في حلتكم. وريلو كل جراناتك الإيال تومون من 6 ل 59 شهر عشان بيشيلوا إيال تومون في تطعيم.
أنا مرتاح عشان توري لنا خبر ده. أنا بشيل جنتاي حاسي لأقرب مركز الصحي للتطعيم عشان بيلقوا تطعيم حسبة دي.
جيبوا جنتاكي في أقرب مركز الصحة عشان يتبهاميو بتطعيم من حسبة وأيانات تانين، وبعد تطعيم بوديلة كريت وكدتا حافظوا تمام. كدتا استمر دوجانا أليندو حسبة دي وكدتا وديلو أكل الفوقو غذاء تمام. الرسالة دي جالتكم من وزارة الصحة بمساعدة من WHO ويونيسيف.
Ready to give your engine the best care it deserves? Introducing Tropics Fully Synthetic Petrol Engine Oil. Engineered for peak performance, it provides superior protection against wear and tear, ensuring your engine runs smoother and lasts longer. For diesel engine drivers, meet Atro Oil Platinum Engine Oil. This premium oil designed to enhance fuel efficiency and reduce emissions, giving your engine the power it needs to tackle any challenges on the road. 2 Oil, 1 promise of hassle-free reliability. Visit your nearest Haas petrol station today and experience the power of Tropics and Atro Oil, because what goes to your engine matters. Haas Petroleum, servicing new frontiers.
Right, and welcome back from the break. It's now 30 minutes to the top of the hour. You're still listening to the Dawn program here on iRadio, a live broadcast from the capital, Juba. Now let's read a few comments here on the issue of the Constitution on our Facebook page before we can move to the next item. Well, we have Barjok Maduog wrote on our Facebook, the Constitution has to reflect all the views of the citizens, just like the National Dialogue process. And then he's saying the resolutions of the National Dialogue, the resolutions were put in the dustbin. That's according to his view there. Warakwata wrote, good morning, iRadio. I am currently observing or watching live from Pochala County in the Greater Pibor administrative area. In a nation lacking a constitution resembling a directionless entity, South Sudan recognized as inhabitants, or the South Sudanese recognized as inhabitants of a country enduring significant hardship, and urgently require the establishment of a formal constitution or a permanent constitution. We have transitioned from being a young nation to a state of maturity and can no longer be accurately described as a so-called young nation. That's his message there. Another text here coming in from James Kwaje. He wrote, the best is to make a permanent constitution with elected MPs to avoid future conflict. At the moment, we can embark on making electoral reforms only. Garwich Mayel also wrote, good morning, iRadio. I'm watching you live from Amadi area, Juba. My concern is that let the government make permanent constitution and stabilize our security. People should go to should go for agriculture instead of always waiting for a salary. Now, talking about agriculture, that brings us to the next item, where the Deputy Governor of Central Equatoria State has announced that the state government is prepared to allocate land for agricultural investment and as a strategic measure to enhance food security. Now, Paulino Lokudu Obede made the remarks during the opening of the 3rd edition of Juba Economic Forum yesterday. Now, according to Paulino, the state government also plans to open feeder roads to ensure improved access to farms and also production areas to facilitate agricultural activities. The deputy governor also urged residents to adhere to land acquisition policies and refrain from land grabbing. advocating for responsible land allocation to support agricultural development. Additionally, he also highlighted the importance of farmers training and the provision of subsidies to agricultural investors, aiming to reduce reliance on imported food and strengthen local food production capacity. Now let's listen to Paulino Lokudu.
The National Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and the government of Central Equatorial State, in the partnership with Central Equatorial State Business Union, organized this forum to underscore and align our focus as leaders in this country on the need to put more emphasis on the commercial agriculture for the inclusive and sustainable economic growth. As you may be aware, the Transitional Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan, 2011, as amended, strongly advocates for a free market economy, where the private sector plays an important role in driving the nation's economic growth. This forum therefore acknowledges the government's firm commitment and supporting private sector-led investment to transform our country's economy. Maybe you are aware that most of the investment in the country is a private sector investment. You look at the hotels and hospitalities and many other investments are private sector investments. And this is the direction of our government to ensure that we support private sector investment. Honorable Minister, we appreciate you for declaring 2025 as the year of agriculture, and we appreciate the President of the Republic for his direction of our country towards agriculture. Furthermore, we thank you for your grand efforts in steering the nation's policy of diversification of our economy by promoting agriculture as a major revenue source of livelihood and to reduce over-reliance on oil revenue streams in financing the government budget. To supplement the efforts, the government of Central Equatorial State is committed to the policy of the diversification of the economy. This is anchored in the Central Equatorial State policy direction to consolidate peace and security for the sustainable economic growth through agricultural production, revival of the cooperative societies, improvement of the road networks in the state, and to the end, the government is ready to undertake the following: formulation and the implementation of the investment-friendly legislation. And we have started when the members of the Central Equatorial State Business Committee went and gave their report to the governor. And we have seen from the presentation here, the state government has fully 100% implemented the matrix for the implementation of the recommendations and the resolutions of the previous forum. Number two is to ensure that there is a provision of agricultural investment lands to guarantee food security and food sovereignty. And this is one of the reasons that we are asking our people to respect the land acquirement policies, because when there is continuous land grabbing, sometimes it affects when we wanted to designate a particular part of our estate or part of the land in the counties for agricultural investment. That's why many of our residents sometimes they don't get good land for settlement. Instead of taking the land which is designated for settlement, they take the land which is supposed to be designated for the agriculture, and they end up being flooded because of the low land that they are not being given by the state government. Number three is to ensure that we open feeder roads to access farm and production areas, provision of subsidized investment licenses, and collaboration with the national government to guarantee security for the investment. This forum therefore showcases Central Equatorial State's vibrant and unending investment opportunities, which tells our country's true story to the world on the peace and stability. It further reflects our country as a fertile ground and a new frontier for the proactive business, particularly commercial agriculture, which makes substantial gains in domestic and foreign direct investments. Honorable ministers and the delegates of the forum, today we depend on imported food items despite agricultural potential to produce our own. We have recently had cases from the South Sudan Bureau of Standards in which they have got some food that is to be imported to the country and has aflatoxin, in which some of them were returned and others were banned. So we have a vital agriculture and fertile land for the production of food, unlike from importing food from outside. It is unfortunate that the reality is otherwise. We import food items like maize flour, cooking oil, milk, rice, beans, and other varieties of consumable products from our neighboring and overseas countries. This means we expensively import what we can locally produce cheaply. Also, it exposes us to the risk of the supply of shortage and the compromised qualities in case of any dispute with our trade partners within the region. These fundamental agroeconomic challenges compounded reverse earlier progress achieved on the path towards transforming South Sudan economy into a diversified, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable economy. The solution to these pitfalls lies in the provision of subsidies to all investment in agriculture, including the waivers on farm inputs, implements and equipments. Additionally, we should build a capacity of our local farmers to embrace modern agricultural production techniques and technologies, including use of the yield-certified seeds, breeds, fertilizers, mechanized farming, and cross-purpose harvest food storage methods. We at the state government, we have started with this provision in which we encourage the formation of the cooperative societies, agro-cooperative society and all the types of the cooperative societies through our different ministries, and we're empowering them so that we increase the production. We will also enforce strict measures on imported duties to achieve a level play field with the partners in East African Community Bloc. For instance, today, all finished products from South Sudan attracts 25% export tax based on the provision of East Africa Community's protocols on trade. However, the terms do not apply on agriculture imports in the country. This exposes our local producers to the high production costs and the zero returns as a direct result of unfair trade items. We furthermore appeal for your urgent interventions on the need to harmonize cross-border foreign exchange rates with our trade partners within the East African Community member states.
Right, and that was the Deputy Governor of Central Equatoria State, Paulino Lokudu Ubede, speaking during the opening of the third edition of Juba Economic Forum yesterday. Now, let's also listen to the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, who called on the private sector to redirect their capital and energy towards productive agricultural ventures for economic growth in South Sudan. Hussein Abdul Baghi said the agriculture sector should be a cornerstone of economic transformation in South Sudan. Now, according to him, the country is at a crossroad due to foreign aid cuts, adding the urgent need for sustainable growth. Here is Hussein Abdul Baghi.
This year's themes, commercial agriculture has a pathway towards economic stability, could not be more relevant. Our country is at a crossroads, has a foreign aid shrine, even for critical humanitarian assistance, due to shifting global priorities and internal political challenges. The urgent task before us is to the harness of our own potential to drive sustainable growth. South Sudan possesses vast arable land, rich water bodies, and a capable youth population. But unless we put these assets to work, they will remain untapped potential. Agriculture must become a cornerstone of economic transformation for subsistence to surplus, from fragmentation to commercialization. Yet, this transformation cannot happen without bold and strategic leadership from our national private sector. Let me be clear. Continue to invest in a short-term, low-risk commercial activities or relying solely on government and donors' contract is not a sustainable model. We call our private sector to redirect their capital and energy toward productive agriculture ventures. In farming, agriculture, processing, value chain, irrigation, mechanization, storage, and export logistics. Let us draw inspiration from our nations. In Ethiopia and Nigeria, domestic business now lead in a large-scale food production and agro-processing. In Kenya and Rwanda, local entrepreneurs supported by the government and development partners have built thriving agricultural value chain. South Sudan can and must do the same. As a government, we are fully committed to creating a conducive environment for agribusiness to flourish. Through policy support, improved infrastructure, land access facilitation, and the public-private partnership, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security stand ready to work with a serious actors. At the same time, I wish to renew our appeal to our international partners and financial institutions. It is a time to finance agriculture not just through micro projects or humanitarian intervention, but through long-term and catalytic investment that build a resilient food system and national self-reliance. To the diplomatic mission accredited to South Sudan, especially from the neighboring countries, we urge you to encourage and facilitate foreign direct investment into our agriculture sector. With the government assurance and strategic support, South Sudan can become a reliable destination for regional agri-investment and trade. Let us shift our mindset from aid dependency to self-reliance, from importing food to producing and exporting it. Let us act together with courage and vision to turn our agriculture potential into a national engine of peace, prosperity, and progress. This time is now. The responsibility is ours. The future is within reach.
نعم، وده برضو كان هناك اللي هو حسين عبد الباقي، وده طبعا وزير بتاع الزراعة والأمن الغذائي. هو كان بيتكلم امبارح في زمن بتاع التدشين لمنتدى بتاع الاقتصاد اللي قام به، اللي عملوه بتاعت جوبا، اللي طبعا كل سنة بيعملوه ده للفترة أو للسنة الثالث على التوالي يقدموه، وده عشان بينظر لتحسين بتاعت الاقتصاد وكمان خاصة التجارات المختلفة هنا في العاصمة جوبا وفي بعض من أرجاء البلاد. وقبله سمعنا برضو من نائب بتاع حاكم ولاية الاستوائية الوسطى بولينو لوكودو اللي قال الولاية مستعد لتخصيص أراضي للاستثمار الزراعي كإجراء استراتيجي لتعزيز الأمن الغذائي. ووفقا لبولينو بتخطط الحكومة بتاع الولاية برضو لفتح طرق فرعية لضمان تحسين الوصول إلى المزارع ومناطق الإنتاج لتسهيل الأنشطة الزراعية. هو حث كمان على الالتزام بسياسات حيازة الأراضي والامتناع عن الاستيلاء عليه، داعيا إلى تخصيص الأراضي بشكل مسؤول لدعم التنمية الزراعية. هو برضو سلط الضوء بولينو على أهمية تدريب المزارعين وتقديم الدعم للمستثمرين الزراعيين، ده طبعا بهدف تقليل الاعتماد على الأغذية المستوردة وتعزيز القدرة الإنتاجية الغذائية المحلية. وهناك برضو لما سمعنا من حسين عبد الباقي، هو طبعا دعا القطاع الخاص إلى إعادة توجيه رؤوس أموالهم وطاقة بتاعهم نحو المشاريع الزراعية الإنتاجية لتحقيق النمو الاقتصادي في جنوب السودان، وأكد أنه القطاع الزراعي لازم يكون حجر الزاوية في التحول الاقتصادي في جنوب السودان. وأشار عبد الباقي إلى أنه جنوب السودان بيمر بمفترق طرق بسبب انخفاض المساعدات الخارجية، مؤكد الحاجة الملحة إلى نمو مستدام في البلاد. ده الوقت اللي فيه بنرفع المكالمات. How can both the state and national governments collaborate effectively to strengthen agricultural investment and ensure sustainable food security in South Sudan? كيف يمكن لكل من حكومة الولاية والحكومة القومية التعاون بشكل فعال لتعزيز الاستثمار الزراعي وضمان الأمن الغذائي؟ ما بس حكومة ولاية الاستوائية البراو، لكن حكومة بتاع كل الولايات العاشرة وثلاثة المناطق الإدارية الثلاثة. اتصل علينا. اي راديو. حلو اي راديو.
Emmanuel Akile.
Yes.
Engineer Moses.
Yes, welcome. Tfadal.
Emmanuel Akile. طبعا هنا الجنوبيين هنا بسمع بس أروادي يقولوا وناس كبار أنا قاعد يكلم أنا بعمل كده ودين بعمل كده ما بزول اللي بيشغله. من بقول قال من وفتا زراعة حكومة ده أكاديب ساقد يا إيمانويل أكيله ده ما كان من قاعد يقول قال سنة 2025 ده سنة الزراعة ما ممكن تباسس الزراعة زمن المطار قاعد نزل أنا بشوف لهم السياسيين قاعد يكلم ده أنا بشوف الزراعة ده بكون حقيقة أتذكر بس أرواد إيمان قاعد يكلم فوق ده إيمانويل أكيله لو ده ما أصله يا من ببيو يعني من بديرو بايدو يا أنا بصدقه لكن في شغل من قاعد أعمل الجنوبيين ده بقول قاعدين بفترة الجركاشة أنا بعمل شواري أنا بعمل كده والله ما بزور بعمل يا إيمانويل أكيله أنا قاعد أكلم معك أنا قاعد واقف في مع النمرة زراعة بتاعت أنا قاعد أكلم معك وزير تا جركاشة تا سنداوي كاتوريا لو جايله أنا بقبل يد بتوع في مال البروني قاعد يشغل فوق ما يوغانيز قاعد يشغل فوق هذا لا أنا قاعد أكلم في جابا شارو بشوف هل
انجينير
الناس تاني ونين الجنوبيين هنا قاعد يشيل كلانيات يعني بدروا بعده قال لك ده هذا الجنوب يا إيمانويل أكيله بلد ده نين كان تعب فوقه يعني بتاعها تبلد تبدور فري وتبامل شنو والله ما بزور بسالك لكن هسه ده لو تمشيت في محل كده والله بعدادتا والله بعملتا كيف ده هذا يا إيمانويل أكيله كل زيت ياسين ده يا كرب بلد هذا براسياب أني بعمل كده من الكلام كرياب يا جاي كله ده كلام ده وين يا إيمانويل أكيله أنا قاعد أكلم ده بروني في جابيني يوغندا في جابين لوتا ماشي ولا تبلغوا فتيب نراو لوتا بلغوا تماتم والله إنما زاد تدار قاعد كور بمويين يا إيمانويل أكيله
alright
جنوبيين قاعد يشتغل زي ده بكون في جان في بلده ما في جان في بلده
alright شكرا لك
كلام أصلا ده يعني جين بام جيبوا أصلا جين بودي ليشاب كره كل بعدين كرين في كلام ده يا إيمانويل أكيله
alright
أنا زالان dia يا إيمانويل أكيله بكلام ده كتال ده ناس قاعد يكتل بعد ساقط بحاجة المايند فيها
alright شكرا لك بتمنى السلام والوئام في البلاد راديو طبعا بدون الأمن الزراعة بيكون صعب للمزارعين وده اللي حاجة اللي دائما المزارعين بيقدموا الشكوى فيه راديو
إيمانويل جزر أكيله
نعم تفضل
أنت عارف إيمانويل جزر أكيله طبعا المؤتمر الزراعي ده عملوه ما قبل شهور كمان ما برضه عملوا بالتجارة هنا برضه في جوبا الحاجات كله أنا بشوف ده استهلاك من الأموال ساجد يعني المؤتمر ده الجروج الكلام فوق جروج جدا المفروض الجروج ده كان بعمل يعني المشاكل بتاع الشوارع الداخلية بس كويس حتى لو ردمية ساكن ممكن يردموا بعض الأحياء أنا برملة وكان بساعد لأنه أنت لما تتكلم عن جلب الاستثمارات هو المستثمر ما عميان المستثمر ده مع قروشه ده ما تلقى فوقه فائدة مش قروش بجداوة ساقط أنت ما ممكن تجد قروشك في بلد فوقه تموترات أمنية كويس وده يتكلم عن الزراعة ده ما داير مساحات داير كم فدان ما داير أمن حتى الناس اللي بيشتغلوا ذلك في الزراعة ده ما داير أمن فده كل استهلاك لزمن لنهاية الساكت لأنه أنت لما تتكلم من الأمن الغذائي ده أنت برضه ما تعمل المواطن ذات اللي بيشتغل في نهاية الزراعة كويس وأنت ذات بتعمل قروشك كده هتكون وين يعني في جنوب السودان يعني أنت ذات البنوك ما في حتى البنك الزراعي ده بس قاعد يبقى ساكت فأنا بشوف إنه الجنوبيين لو يتكلم في حاجات أنا أخوانا نشخص المواضيع الأساسية في البلد يعني بعد تعرف تتكلم عن الزراعي تعرف تتكلم تجيب المستثمرين ده انت بتجيب انت بتتكلم عن الاستثمارات ده ما انت عملت بلدك كويس المستثمر ده ممكن يزور الولايات ذاته يعني بدون خوف وبلد امن مكتب، بعدين يختار ده يستثمر في شنو؟ يستثمر في تعليم، في صحه، في طرق، في اي حاجه، في حاجات كثيره جدا في مجالات كويس. لكن انت بدل ما كله اخوي موسى.
أوراد أستاذ مجاوب معلش الشبكة انقطع هناك لكن رجع تاني واتصل علينا. We're still talking about the issue of agriculture. And remember, farmers across South Sudan have consistently raised concerns about conflicts, insufficient government support, particularly in pest control, access to fuel, and lack of a stable market for their produce. But also remember last month the economic cluster approved £62 billion to support farming activities ahead of the rainy season. So following the meeting, the Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Lili Albino, said all state governors and the chief administrators should allocate 250,000 hectares of land each for agricultural use. Radio.
Hello, just Akile, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
David Mugo from Wow.
Welcome.
My brother, this one of agriculture is welcome. Even the statement and the conference, there's no problem, they are accepted. But our question is, are these politicians who are talking in the conference, are they ready to cultivate? Because the Ministry of Agriculture, from 2005 until today, they don't have one pedant for the ministry. This is number one. Number two, there was characters that were brought to South Sudan around 1,000 and something like that. Until today, we don't know who abused them. And they were distributed to 10 states. This is number three, agriculture is connected with security. If this agreement is not implemented, if there is no peace and reconciliation, if all these soldiers who are in the bushes are not collected back to the town, or they are organized, this agriculture will not go ahead. If these politicians who are fighting for position, if they don't accept this country and they go for election, there will be no fair agriculture. Because they are the people who are talking agriculture and they are the one fighting for position. They fail to implement the agreement and they are saying that people are going to cultivate. And if you see them in Juba there, you can see a leader going with more than 10 vehicles full with soldiers. And now somebody with who is going to guide him? Who is going to protect him? And government is not protecting people. So if they protect themselves as politicians, whom do they think is going to protect the citizen who is going to cultivate in his own farm? It is the role of the government. It is said that government should have to protect the citizen, the life of citizens with their property. So if they talk about agriculture, let them talk about peace. Let them talk about implementation of the agreement. This is where the agriculture will be successful. Without this, it will not work. Let the government even make compulsory cultivation, of which they should have to have their own scheme, their agricultural land, and then they make it compulsory for all South Sudanese to cultivate. This is where it will work. But if they talk it, if they just make it as speeches, they give everything they said in the conference and they don't implement it, it will still not work.
All right.
We're still relying on the other people like this until the end of what? They did not even implement the speeches of Dr. Garang that he said the oil money should be used for agriculture. Now they are being consumed for the agreement instead for agriculture. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. ورسالة بتاع الدكتور جون غراندي مابيرو اللي كان بيتكلم في انه قروش او عائدات بتاع النفط لازم يستخدموه للتحسين او للتقوية بتاع قطاع الزراعة في جنوب السودان، لكن ده ما الحاجة الحاصلة على ارض الواقع على حسب كلام بتاع ديفيد ماغوك. Well, thank you all for being part of the Dawn edition for today. We've come to the end of it. Join us again tomorrow at the same time to get the latest on what's happening in South Sudan and beyond the borders. Up next, news in Arabic. On behalf of the Dawn team, Paulino Althei, Awan Moses, Darlington Moses, and producer Barry Johnson, my name is Emmanuel Joseph Akile. Do have a good day. Stay safe, stay blessed.